tired of yelling, threats, and timeouts that never seems to work? What if I told you that your child isn't misbehaving, your child is trying to tell you something? And in this video, I'm going to tell you the discipline strategies that actually work. Ways to build respect, connection, cooperation, and emotional intelligence in your child without tears or power struggle. I am Ayolu Adedeji. I am a family life practitioner and I have helped hundreds of parents transform their homes from chaos into calm. By the end of this video, you will have practical, science-backed strategies you can start using today, and your child will respond in a way you never thought possible. Let me talk about understanding why your child misbehaves. Let's start with the truth that changes everything. Misbehavior is usually communication problem, not deaf ears. Take Sarah's 6-year-old. Every afternoon, he would throw toys and scream everywhere. At first, Sarah thought it was just being difficult. But when she asked calmly, she discovered he was anxious to move into a new school. His outbursts were his way of expressing fear. Once she addressed the root cause, the behavior improved drastically. So instead of reacting immediately, pause, observe, and ask, what is my child trying to tell me? Now, connection before correction. Always build connection before correction, because your child's heart needs to feel understood before your guidance lands. In case you do not know, emotion coaching works wonder. Let's say your child refuses to eat dinner. Instead of yelling, try, I say you are upset. Can you tell me why? You acknowledge feelings first, then problem solve together. Now, set clear boundaries and expectations. Boundaries are not punishments. They are a roadmap for your child. And children thrive when they know what is expected of them and what follows when rules are broken. So imagine two siblings. One pushes every limit, the other quietly tests boundaries. When parents set consistent rules and visual charts, both children adapted quickly. And the chaos, it turned into cooperation. Now let's talk about natural and logical consequence. Children learn best when consequences are directly related to the behavior. For example, if your child leaves toys on the floor, natural consequence is that the toys are taken away for a day. By this, your child will learn responsibility without threats or lectures. The parent stops scolding his son, leaving clothes on the floor. Instead, he lost TV privileges until the clothes are packed and well arranged. Within 1 week, behavior improved. No tears, no yelling. Now, positive reinforcement and praise. Let's focus on reinforcing behaviors you want to see. Sticker charts, verbal praise, or even high five. Efforts can motivate children far more than punishment could. And now, discipline according to personality wiring. I've read my books, Why Find Your Lost Purpose, and Discipline Without Damage. You would understand this perfectly. Every child is wired differently, meaning that one approach does not fit all. Two siblings, one responds to reasoning, the other to structure. Applying the same discipline strategy to both of them will lead to frustration. When parents tailored strategies, reasoning for one, consistent routine for other, cooperation is soared. So observe your child. Are they more reactive, sensitive, or independent? Then adjust your approach to your child's wiring. At this point, let me talk about discipline mistakes. Finally, let's cover mistakes that sabotage discipline. Number one, reacting in anger. Discipline from an emotionally flooded state, yelling, shaming, threatening, or punishing impulsively. When a parent reacts in anger, the child's nervous system shifts into fight, flight, or freeze mode. In that state, the brain prioritizes survival, not learning. The prefrontal cortex, the section of the brain that is responsible for learning, reasoning, and moral processing, goes offline. So instead of learning, I made a bad choice, the child internalizes I'm bad, or I am unsafe. The long-term consequence of this is that children raised under reactive discipline often becomes secretive, anxious, and aggressive. Correction requires regulation. If the parent is dysregulated, discipline becomes emotional discharge, not instruction. Number two, inconsistency. Rules, expectations, and consequences change depending on mood, stress level, and environment. This sabotages discipline because children Children construct internal stability from external predictability. Inconsistent discipline creates cognitive and emotional instability. Is this allowed or not? Does this rule apply today? This unpredictability produces either testing behavior in order to locate the boundary or anxiety because safety feels unstable. From behavioral science perspective, inconsistency actually empties unwanted behavior. When consequences are unpredictable, the brain keeps testing for a reward, and this is similar to how gambling addiction works. Long-term consequences of this are weak internal boundaries, difficulty respecting authority, and poor self-regulation. Consistency builds security, and security builds cooperation. Number 3, comparison. Comparing children. Using siblings, peers as behavioral benchmarks. Why can't you be like your sister? Friends behave better. Comparison shifts the focus from behavior to identity. Instead of correcting an action, you attack individuality. This activates shame, not conviction. Shame says something is wrong with me. Healthy discipline says this behavior needs adjustments. Additionally, comparison fractures siblings' relationship. It creates competition instead of collaboration and resentment instead of growth. What are the long-term consequences of comparison? Inferiority complex or superiority complex, performance-based identity, and sibling rivalry even into adulthood. Discipline should refine a child's design and not measure it with someone else. Number 4, using fear instead of understanding. Relying on intimidation, threats, harsh punishments, or emotional withdrawal to enforce compliance sabotages discipline because fear produces short-term obedience but long-term distance. Fearful child asks, how do I avoid punishment? A secure child asks, what is the right thing to do? Fear-based discipline suppresses behavior externally but does not transform motivation internally. It teaches avoidance, not wisdom. Neuroscience shows that chronic fear-based environments elevate cortisol levels, which impaired emotional regulation and relational trust. The long-term consequence, hidden behavior rather than corrected behavior, weak moral reasoning, and emotional distance from parents. Fear controls behavior temporarily, while understanding builds character permanently. Let me share one core insight. Of the 4 mistakes, share one common root. They prioritize control over connection. And discipline without connection becomes domination. But discipline with connection becomes formation. If your goal is not just compliance, but character, then regulation, consistency, individuality, and understanding must guide your correction. If you want a deeper dive, then watch my next video.